having been appointed as Secretary to the Cabinet.
The newly appointed Secretary of Cabinet, Ibrahim Assise, also took the prescribed oaths weeks after his appointment. Speaking after the ceremony, the new Secretary General promised to accelerate the transformation of the civil service in line with government's priorities to make it more responsive and effective.
Like I was told by the President, it cannot be business as usual. So since it cannot be as business as usual, the civil service need to therefore respond in kind by really sweating the assets of government, by doing that last mile in order for us to be able to achieve what are the presidential doctrine in terms of the priority areas of our national development, which is juxtaposed with the National Development Plan. And therefore, in this regard, we would develop different scorecards by the civil service that Cabinet could finally agree upon as a way in which we could measure output and performance of the civil service.
In response, President Barrow congratulated the three men for accepting the challenge, adding that he has full trust and confidence in them. The President said that his government remains committed to building strong and enduring institutions that better serve the people, and called on all Gambians to work towards this goal.
I urge you to serve our people with professionalism, without fear or favor. Individually, we can change our attitudes towards work and take positive steps to making a difference in our institutions. Together, we can commit ourselves to serve our national interests in our engagements. Our individual interests are embedded in the national interest. We pledge to engage in institutional and legal reforms. Therefore, I urge you to work hard for us to achieve our goal as government and to leave a legacy of sustained institutions that will transform our country into a full-fledged democracy and facilitate social, economic, and political development for our people in the new Gambia.
The conclusion of this brief ceremony allowed Cabinet to continue on its meeting, where ministers are expected to review and adopt important policy decisions. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
An encounter between supporters of the APRC and residents of Busumbala in the West Coast region nearly turned ugly after young people took to the streets to express anger over an alleged assault on the home of the town's imam. Several windows and doors were shattered. As Ibrahim Ojata reports, a number of people also suffered injuries in Wednesday's late afternoon incident. Viewer discretion required. You may find some scenes disturbing.
Unfriendly clash between APRC supporters and residents of Kambo Busumbala, and these young people become village vigilantes taking control of the highway. A road littered with broken bottles, shattered glass and stones tell the aftermath of what was a heated encounter. Several cars were wrecked here and shops vandalized. This man explains how he had to run for his life when he was nearly mobbed. A hostile encounter that nearly turned ugly here in Kambo Busumbala. A picture of shattered glass, broken doors and windows at the imam's compound. We were in the middle of a naming ceremony when we had a great uproar outside the compound. We later learned it was the APRC procession passing through Busumbala from their nationwide tour. They must have mistaken our gathering for our political rally because we were suddenly assailed by a mob from the passing motorcade. The ensuing rush will almost cross the owner of this motorbike, according to eyewitnesses. Here, visibly enraged residents explained how the group hurled stones and insults as they went by the settlement. The mob smashed windows and doors, wrecking everything in their way. My people had to run for their lives. It's incredibly shocking, but as Busumbala Imam and a community elder, I want to emphasize the need for everyone to carefully preserve the peace and calm the Gambia is known for. Incidents like this should be avoided by all means. This motorist lamented the damage caused to his prized vehicle, which was caught in the brawl. Undue vandalism like this is unacceptable. Look at my car. It was deliberately smashed. On the highway, a picture of this orderly chaos elicits a mess of broken glass and stalled traffic, as residents streamed on the streets to express frustration. Meanwhile, several people who sustained injuries in the scuffle were rushed to the Brikama Health Center. Here, doctors struggled late in the night to take care of patients coming in with major wounds and lacerations. A few in critical condition, like this woman, were immediately referred to the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. The driver of this car showed us the damage to his vehicle, and this passenger explained how they escaped an angry mob. Ibrahim Jata, GRTS.
Has been brought under control.
First of all, what we are trying to do as a police force is to stem the disturbances. What we have done is so far is to deploy personnel there, and so far I can informatively say that the situation is now calm there, and the Deputy Inspector General of Police, accompanied with the Deputy CDS and other security chiefs, visited the place and have held talks with members of the community. That done, we are going to form panels that would conduct investigations so that we'll get to the bottom of this whole situation. The situation is a matter of urgency, and the Gambia Police Force is going to use every resource available to get to the bottom of this whole situation.
Police spokesperson David Kujabi there talking to GRTS. Still on that story, the National Assembly member of Busumbala constituency, Honorable Pa Sekou Jaju, has called for calm in the wake of last night's scuffles in Busumbala.
It was so unfortunate. Everything happens in my presence. Then I called the police to come and see the situation and leave it on. But now everything is under control. We regretted it, and I'm sure I don't know of the leaders of the APRC, but the National Assembly members, I know they've regretted it, because that's not what we call for in the National Assembly. We are trying to call for unity. We are trying to call for reconciliation of everybody in the Gambia. The Gambia belongs to all of us. My message to political parties, my party and all other political parties: we form parties because we want to sell our propaganda, our ideas to the Gambian people to support us and give us their vote. So I don't see any reason why should you go. The people that we are talking to, for them to support us, for us to go and fight them. So my message to them.
Honorable Pa Sekou Jaju speaking to GRTS about the Busumbala incident. Meanwhile, the APRC chairman Fabakary Tombong Jatta has called on supporters of the APRC to exercise restraint.
Gambia is a small country, and one small family that almost everybody knows each other. A lot of intermarriages, friendships, etc. So it is important that Gambians are not agitated by any force against each other, be it political leaders, regional, tribal, religious, ward level, village level. Let all Gambians refuse to be pushed into agitation, because instability is the worst thing that can affect humankind. We should ensure that come rain, come storm.
Still on the Busumbala incident, the Office of the Inspector General of Police notifies all political further notice. The decision to suspend all political activity permits has been taken following violent incidents in Mankamankunda in Upper River Region and Busumbala in West Coast Region on 8th and 10th January respectively. The Office of the IGP urges the general public to comply with these directives and warns all to desist from any form of violence. The Gambia is a democratic country where all are free to support any political party of their choice. The Jane Commission today summoned the outgoing mayor of the Kanifing Municipal Council, Yankuba Koli. He was responding to questions in connection to an account and withdrawal of a huge sum of money used for celebrations. Sise Sawane tells us more.
As his term ends as the mayor of the Kanifing Municipal Council, Yankuba Koli appeared before the commission to testify in connection to the mobilization account at the GRTS Trust Bank. Monies were said to have been withdrawn from the account and used for welcoming and bid farewell to presidents in the country.
The payments you received, the 602,000, was in respect of the visit of President Ma, the president of China on Taiwan, which was in 2012. And the second amount of 385,000 was in respect of President Jonathan in 2013. And for the visit of President Jonathan, Fatu Lamin Fai was responsible. Is there any reason why you did not retire to her? Why the sum of 385,000?
I received the bulk as the chairman of the mobilization of the president that was coming, and in it I have some other committees that I
understand that. We just want to understand, up to yesterday, you did not retire. If you have an explanation for it, we would like to hear it. If you don't, then that's fine, we move on.
No explanation, ma'am.
Koli, who also serves as the national mobilizer of the APRC party, was asked whether he could submit receipts to substantiate his argument of retiring to Fatuma's job, the former tourism minister, but Mayor Koli responded in the negative.
I have my own file that involved in the fire incident that happens at the bureau. When the bureau was born, that's where my...
For the retirement of those funds given to him to serve his best interest. Umi Samba Savage, former deputy governor at the Central Bank of the Gambia, reappeared before the Jane Commission to respond to questions surrounding the 3M account at the Central Bank.
3M account was one of the many accounts that I dealt with whilst I was working at the bank. When the investigator called me in, then I saw, he showed me some documents, some telex transfers and some things that we went through.
Next to testify was the former secretary to Cabinet Nuha Toure in connection to the Gamtel China and Taiwan loans and grant agreement. The gold coins that were bought at a huge sum of money by ex-president Yahya Jammeh was also revealed.
We have minutes from yourself to the president concerning the purchase of gold coins, yes. 75 gold coins at $1,725 US, yes. Each total $129,375 US.
That's correct. Yes, they were received, but submitted directly to delivered directly to the president. I think.
What happened to the gold coins?
No, they were, they were produced to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the, the then July 22nd revolution. So, it was meant as gift to high-profile dignitaries.
Sit-ins will resume on Monday, and for GRTS News, I am Sisi Sawane.
The Minister of Health has presided over the inauguration of the board of Sheikh Zayed Regional Eye Care Center and the Bundung Maternal and Child Health Hospital. As Aissatou Jatta reports, the management board of the Serekunda General Hospital was also inaugurated.
Legally responsible for everything that happens within the premises of the hospital. Yet they will be particularly paying attention to delivery of quality health care. This is the drive behind the Health Ministry's restructuring and reformation program to revitalize the important sector.
I have no doubt in my mind that, given the caliber of members present here, there is high expectations that our desired goals and aspirations of seeing performing public hospitals will be soon realized. Distinguished board members, your selection was not by chance or any social ties, but through thorough consultation and background checks. Ultimately, your experience and demonstrated track record were the core values and attributes that finally resulted in your appointments.
At the Sheikh Zayed Regional Eye Care Center, the new board chairman is Dr. Ismaila Sanyang.
The staff here have been working really hard, and they've maintained the standards that we left here. I'm quite happy because you cannot say somebody is a good manager who, after he left, his work goes down. If you are a good manager, you must have done what is called succession planning. People who will take over from you and ensure that the work you have done goes up and not down.
Sheikh Zayed Hospital Administrator Omar Ba described the setting of a new board as a great idea.
This is going to even strengthen us because now we have a place to fall back. We don't need to go to the minister every time. We don't need to go to the PS every time. We have a board, so we can contact our board. And look at our board, the board is very rich.
In the next port of call at the Bundung Maternal and Child Health Hospital, the hospital CEO commended the outgoing board members for their relentless efforts to meet the needs of the hospital.
We live in a country where resources are limited, so we all have to, like you say, one of the functions of the board is to support the hospitals in terms of raising funds and also to come up with fundraising ventures that can support the health systems. This board has been the previous board has been very instrumental in raising funds. We were able to bring this hospital from 34 beds to 100 beds through the support of the board, the fundraiser, and we were also able to equip it fully through the support of the board. You know what I mean? So this has been the momentum, and then we definitely want to continue the spirit from this new board. I want to use this opportunity also to thank the outgoing board members. They've been very relentless, they've been very supportive all the times.
After serving as a board chairman, has been appointed
for international researchers and organizations like MRC. And the reason primarily why we do that is because we've got the commitment research. So we do piggyback.
Walker said the hospital has been working tirelessly and the same trend will continue. And finally, all new hospital boards in the metropolis have been inaugurated. Next, the Health Ministry will embark on a nationwide mission to inaugurate hospital boards in provincial Gambia. Aisa Tujata, GRTS.
Time now to take our first commercial break. Sports is next. Stay with us.
Hey, Ndeng. Hey, you look tense. I mean, what's up?
I can't help it. The internet is way too slow.
Ndeng, why not join the future?
How?
Why not try this?
Wow, that was really fast. Thank you.
No, thank you, sir.
For the first time in the Gambia, QCell means that you can now connect faster than ever before with 4G LTE speed. QCell has a wide selection of 4G LTE mobiles, dongles, and MiFi routers. QCell's 4G LTE. To subscribe, dial *335#. For more information, call 111. QCell, Sunyu SIM, Sunyu Boss. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
réew doomi réew ma ñoo koy doxal ci lépp lu mu mënti doon le 19 janvier ci stadium bu Gambie ci stade bu Gambie famille Faramaren yépp ñu bootu seen gannaaw mag Thione Seck famille Faramaren yépp ñooy def foofu concert bu maga mag yéen doomu Gambie yéen a xam yéen a ngi Suède yéen a ngi Danemark Angleterre fu ngeen nekk ci àdduna bu ngeen ñëwul teewee concert boobu na seen loxo ñëw ndax lañ fay am dañ koy yóbbu ca hôpitalu Gambie ba dimbali ci nit ñi ñu mën a faju kon nag le 19 janvier famille Faramaren bi ñun ñëpp dinañ bootu seen gannaaw dugg ci Gambie ci stadium ba fas yéene dimbali hôpitalu Gambie fas yéene dimbali waa Gambie man mii saa neex ak ñeneen dinañ fekk yoon Papa Thione ñun ñëpp ñu ngi sagal.
Welcome back to GRTS News. Gambia's number 100 meters and 200-meter runner is warming up for the upcoming athletics season. Adama Jame, who represented Gambia in the World Athletics Championship last year, is on his routine training exercise ahead of a busy schedule. Momodu Lamin Sane caught up with him during one of his early morning training sessions at the Independence Stadium.
There are so many difficulties. Sometimes, you represent the Gambia with little money, but yet still I see to it that it's something that I can do for my nation. Not what the nation can do for me, but what I can do for my nation. So yet still I go and compete for the Gambia, represent the Gambia to my max, and then come back with victory, and in which I've been doing since 2011 to date.
Have you been facing some of these kind of challenges where to train?
Yes, to tell you the fact, it happens on several occasions, because I remember even the time I was preparing for the Rio Olympic Games, I came to the stadium so as to train, but I was not given the opportunity to train in the stadium. And this is the only national stadium you also is the gym, because in the Gambia we have a gym in the stadium. Yes, it's a proper gym, it's a standard gym, but it's a private gym. So we will appreciate the Gambia to have its own gym meant for the athletes. We need that support from the government and the private sectors, because athletics is very, very expensive. It's really expensive. Imagine, you should buy a spike shoe for $100 or $200 or pounds. It's really expensive. I cannot just afford it. But then having the sponsor, having the courage or signing a contract with private sectors can boost not even me, but my fellow athletes on whatsoever they can do for this athletics. The government, the private sectors, I will invite them to come on board to support Gambia.
That's Gambia's Adama Jame there. We wish him all the best in the upcoming event. We'll take a look at news from outside the Gambia right after this break.
Carry your bank everywhere you go with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Take control of your account anytime, anywhere with ease and security. Do your banking the smart way with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Check your account balance, transfer funds, buy now with cash power and mobile credit, withdraw money from our ATM and POS, and pay your bills, request for a Verve card or Visa card, check your Forex rates, and do so much more in just a few steps. Download the GT Bank Gambia mobile app today from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Do your banking the smart way. Do your banking now with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Terms and conditions apply. GT Bank, wouldn't you rather bank with us?
I am Bakari Papa Gassama, FIFA referee. I'm here in Banjul. I use AfriCell 4G network because it has the widest coverage and the fastest speed. I am going to show you why I always use AfriCell. I have two phones in my hand, completely the same. This is my phone with the real 4G SIM card from AfriCell. This one is another phone with the 4G SIM card from another network. Now let's do the speed test. Wow, I'm having full coverage from AfriCell where the speed shows 75.37, and from the other one we have 13.68. I must give them a red card. This is the proof. AfriCell 4G is the real 4G with the widest coverage and the fastest speed. By far, the fastest.
Hurry now and go change your AfriCell SIM card for free to 4G SIM card and get 1 GB for free. Yes, it's completely free. And this offer is for a limited time. So hurry and go replace your AfriCell SIM cards with the real 4G SIM card.
Where AfriCell goes, no one has the speed to follow.
Welcome back. Tunisia is implementing a voluntary layoff program for civil servants. The ambitious project aims to cut at least 120,000 public sector jobs in the next 2 years. CGTN's Adnan Chauchi reports.
Tunisian Finance Minister warned that the state voluntary layoff program could become within months a forced layoff project for thousands of civil servants, because less than 7,000 people have accepted the early retirement plan.
We've encouraged early retirement and promised to pay the salaries in the next 3 years. We'll also give incentives to civil servants if they choose to retire at 57. If they don't, I fear that we will have to impose layoffs in the public sector.
Many parties that supported the government's voluntary layoff program have now rejected the authorities' plan. The Administrative Reform Committee insists that only Parliament can impose layoff in the public sector.
The voluntary layoff program is meant to trim public sector wage bill, which absorbs half of the total expenditure. However, the Tunisian Parliament will decide at a plenary session if the forced layoff project voting is feasible.
Thousands of civil servants who did not choose to retire at 57, 3 years before the legal age, want to remain active for financial reasons.
I want to work. If I retire this year, I will lose my bonuses and advantages, while life is already very difficult.
Prime Minister Al-Shahid has announced a set of measures to reform the social service system. These include increasing pension contribution and raising the rate of social contribution. This decision has caused fury in the Tunisian public administrations. The authorities defend the project and assert that it's a necessary economic reform. Aden Chouachi, CGTN, Tunis.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. President Adama Barrow has presided over the swearing-in ceremony of 3 senior cabinet members. Clashes between APRC supporters and residents of Busumbala has destroyed properties and left several people with injuries. Tunisian government is implementing a program to lay off 120,000 civil servants in 2020. And African-born liquor has been gaining traction in the United States with his drink that is infused with some fruits and herbs. Well, that's all in this edition of the news. We thank you for joining GRTS. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another edition of the news.